What's up, guys? We're back again with the most wild thing that you will ever witness in Clash Royale. There's an incredibly talented Asian player at the top 200 of the world every single day that is running Giant Skeleton, Hog Rider, Goblin Barrel with Miner. Yeah, that's right, 4 win conditions in the same deck. When I saw this thing at first, I was like, this has to be a joke. But when I started playing the deck, there's unbelievable synergy here. If your opponent's got Tornado, Fisherman, and multiple counters to your Hog Rider, you can always break through and do damage with your Miner and Goblin Barrel. And if they have a lot of spells for your Goblin Barrel, you're going to be hammering through with the Hog Rider damage. But by far, my favorite thing with this deck is always splitting up my opponent's attention. So they're dealing with the Hog Riders, they're dealing with the Miners and the Goblin Barrels, and then they forget about the Giant Skeleton. Because when that thing locks onto the tower, it is game-ending damage. And it's really easy to do because you have so many different tanks with the Goblin Barrels, the Miners, the Hog Riders, and then you can reset all of your opponent's attacks that are targeting the Giant Skeleton with the zap back onto the tanks. After the Giant Skeleton buff, it's been played by a lot of professional players recently. And archers got buffed in the recent balance changes too to attack faster. So this might just be one of the best creative decks to play for the new balance changes. The original creator of the deck played this at over 7,400 trophies last season. But he prefers it with Goblin Gang instead of guards, but I assume he used Goblin Gang because it's a more free-to-play friendly card. If you have guards leveled up, I highly encourage you to use them instead. I can't wait to show you guys how secretly strong this deck is, so let's go jump straight some games and assert dominance. And a huge thanks to everyone that's using creator code SirTag, making high-effort videos like this one possible. Hey, so jumping into this one, Combat Royale. Dude, are you ready to rush off to the races with units at the start of the game like a Goblin Cage? I'm here for it. I don't even know if that pulls a Hog Rider. I don't think it does. Oh, man. I was hopeful. I was optimistic here. If I split archers, now he knows that I'm a funky and wild child. If you're going for archers and Goblin Barrel, this is not the log bait deck that people are used to seeing. So he's going to play a lot more safe. I'm going to Hog Rider in the right-hand side because the majority of his zappies are in the left-hand lane. And I think I know what we're playing against. This is my main Clash Royale deck that he's playing. So I know how to play against it really well. Usually, you're going to have to defend against the Royal Hogs and then get counter push afterward when they don't have Goblin Cage in cycle. So the other thing that's really weak about the deck is if he doesn't have Electro Spirit, the bats are going to give infinite value on top of the Flying Machine. So I always want to get that type of trade. If we can get his Electro Spirit out of cycle while defending other stuff. I'm going to go for a Miner, and I'm going to try to get the Giant Skeleton through if possible. That would obviously be super optimal for me. I'm going to go in for a Goblin Barrel off to the side as well. I might end up taking a tower here. I don't know if it's going to work out in my favor, but I'm hoping and praying that it will.
What is that?
I'm going to go for guards off to the side. And the reason why I'm playing so aggressive in this matchup is simply because I don't have much to defend Royal Hogs. I don't have Fireball. I don't have splash damage dealers. So this would probably be one of the more difficult matchups for us. Just going to say it right now. Like, if you play against someone with Royal Hogs, you need to get damage early. You're not going to be able to win that battle of always defending, applying counter pressure, and then hoping that, you know, you're going to be able to get your way through and double or triple elixir, because then they'll identify what crazy combination of cards you have, and you're never going to win the game then. So just something to look out for. If you guys don't know, now you know. I'm going to go for bats again on top of the Flying Machine. As I said before, I'm always going to save that for the Flying Machine. It's unfortunate that we have this type of card cycle, but it is what it is. I have to eat damage to deal damage, and that's how I'm going to be playing this game. What? He misses the Goblin Cage. Oh my gosh. What are we witnessing out here? Am I going to 3-crown him? I think, you know what? This is one of the few Hog Rider decks in Clash Royale where you can legitimately 3-crown opponents. So I'm going for it. I'm going balls to the walls. You guys might tell me that I shouldn't, but I'm doing it anyway. Let's get that bread, baby. If that Giant Skeleton locks onto the tower, then I'm vibing. I'm literally hitting different. Oh my gosh. The natural disaster of the Giant Skeleton is sprung upon our opponent, and that thing is devastating. So you guys already know I'm stacking the tower on the left-hand side. I don't care about that. Like, why would I try to defend a tower that is just going to give me absolutely no benefit at all? 88 HP in a dream? More like the memes. Maybe we can go in for, like, guards here and then follow up with another Miner in the back. If he goes in for a Barb Barrel again, he's going to have to arrow here. And I'm going to apply aggression with archers, which he's going to not arrow because he's going to arrow on top of the Goblin Barrel. So if I can break through with this Hog Rider, then we're vibing. I really hope that the Giant Skeleton explodes on whatever he drops. The archers are doing so much damage. Let's go. That Giant Skeleton gave me wonderful value.
And when I was a young boy, this was me.
Also, he has no arrows in cycle because he had already dropped it earlier. So So I'm going to go in for another set of guards aggressively. I think the archer locks onto the tower. Let's go. I can follow up with another goblin barrel here as well. And then maybe go in for a zap and then win the game with the miner. So this will win us the game. GG, well played and peace out. This guy had arrows and barb barrel for my guards, archers, and goblin barrel. And he also had goblin cage for my hog rider. This is definitely one of the most difficult matchups that you could ever play against. But since I've played against this deck so much, I know exactly how to play against it. If you're always losing against one specific deck, try to play that deck for yourself so you can find out what your opponents do to counter it. Hey, we got a game against the happiest of noobs. What's up, dude? I wonder if he's going to be happy if a giant skeleton explodes on his tower. Probably not, right? This is one of those things that is a surprise, but it's not the type of surprise that you want to see. I'm going to go for a giant skeleton when I get the opportunity to. Not necessarily going to dish that out in single elixir, because if your opponent's going to end up having a deck that is more like beatdown oriented with golem, like this guy could end up having, or he could end up having a graveyard deck, I do not want to have that out of cycle. Also, we did so much damage at the start. I'm here for it. Graveyard right out of the jump from our opponent as well. So if they go for graveyard and single elixir, you have a bountiful amount of resources to shut down the graveyard. Whether it's archers, guards, bats, you name it, you got it. I love playing this matchup too, just because it's so fun to beat a deck that was incredibly strong for so long. Like, assuming that this guy plays optimally, we still will be able to overwhelm him pretty easily. Usually, I want to go for miners plus hog riders, so when he goes in for a knight, or he goes in for a Valkyrie to stop the giant skeleton, then he'll have nothing for the miner that gets directly on top of the tower. Even if you activate King Tower, I'm just going to drop it in the safe spot so you're not able to hit it with the King Tower. So I'll vibe with that, because you literally don't have a Valkyrie, and you can't drop a Barb Barrel because you have to save the Barb Barrel for the Goblin Barrel. There are so many different layers of offense with this deck that it becomes infuriating for opponents to play against, and that's going to get a hit. Look at that. That's awesome. We're up so much damage at the start, and he's going to go for a Baby Dragon. He's going to go for a Graveyard. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to go in for Giant Skeleton to stop the Baby Dragon from crossing the river. He's going to maybe Graveyard there. Even if he doesn't, then I can go for Archers to snipe the Baby Dragon. And the best thing about it is I can consistently apply the aggression. If you go for a Barb Barrel like I thought you would... Oh, man! Oh, yes, Skeleton King. Okay, this is going to make the game a lot harder now, because most of the time I'm just like, I got this game on lock. This is not even going to be a concern. This is an easy matchup. But when you've got the Skill King and you go in for a Graveyard, I got to kill that thing as quickly as I can. So I'm going to go for Bats early on and then go in for, oh wait, yeah, you don't get to get the ability off. Then I can go for Guards and then Hog Rider right after. Only thing I dislike about this is, you know, the Ice Wizard's going to slow down my Hog Rider, and there's a lot of skeletons on the map, and they're spooky, and they're scaring me, and I don't appreciate it, but it is what it is. This is definitely going to be a close game if he's able to get a Skeleton King near my tower. So that's the only scary part that I'm worried about. Maybe we can bait out another Barb Barrel with my archers. I'm hoping he doesn't just go in for a poison here. He could poison or fireball. No, he doesn't have elixir after he goes in for the Barb Barrel there. Wow, wait, what? Is this guy built of elixir or something? I am floored that he was able to accomplish that. This is insane. This is absolutely ludicrous. I'm going to go in for a zap, so then the Hog Rider is able to find his way through. Oh, man, Baby Dragon, why you got to move out of the bomb? We had a surprise for you, bro. You didn't want to be a part of the party. Oh, my gosh. I love this game. It's so fun to destroy extremely dominant decks with champions like this one. If you guys are sick and tired of losing against Graveyard, this will be the deck for you. You've got an abundance of answers no matter what Graveyard deck they've got. Even with Skeleton King and Broken Champions, you'll break them down. So after crushing the Skeleton King spammer, I got another game out here. We're going to rewrite history, guys. The Giant Skeleton, he's going to become the ultimate champion. I feel like he deserves to get promoted. You know, he costs more elixir than the Skeleton King. He's been around longer. He's a bigger boy. Okay, getting back to the game here. I know I was dillying and dallying, but we're playing against a dirty elixir golem spammer. And for the first time in their lives, they're actually defending. What? I've never seen that before. This is going to be interesting. Like, have you guys seen someone defend? Like, what is this? This is an abomination. Okay, so the minion horde is definitely going to be problematic. I probably don't want to spend any extra elixir on it because I want to get good counter push with a giant skeleton and an archer. But yeah, he was making me want to zap that. But then I remembered there's a chance he's got skeleton army because he's got a skill horde. Okay, we can get bats down here and then maybe drop a Zapperino. If I can zap and reset the Inferno Dragon, then we should be able to get the Giant Skeleton on top of all the Elixir Blobs, and that will give us better counter push. That'll give me a much better counter push. We vibe with that way more. Maybe it just stops him from spamming more stuff into us. That's also pretty good, too. I'll take that trade as well. You know what? I'm not going to be too picky here. I'll take whatever I can get. I should have minored in front of that. if I was playing a little bit better. But I was petrified of him spamming more stuff in the other side. Whenever you see Elixir Golem players that don't have decks that you recognize, it's just not the sight that you want to see, because they could literally whip out anything. This guy could have Harry Potters. He could end up having a weird golem in his deck, or he could have Battle Healer plus Rage and Skeleton Army. And I just don't want to get that happening to me right now. You picking up what I'm putting down, guys? I'm going to go for guards pretty early on because I think that's going to be worth it since he doesn't have arrows back in cycle for a while. And then I can go in for a goblin barrel on either side that I want. But I don't want to commit too heavily because he could minion horde. Yep, that's exactly what the homie does. He drops that minion horde like it's a hot potato. Okay, so I can go in for giant skeleton and then I can go in for a goblin barrel here. This is extremely aggressive, but I'm up so much elixir. Like, this guy genuinely gave me some of the best trades I've seen in a long time. And the giant skeleton's going to go kaboom on top of the Inferno Dragon, allowing me to go in for a miner here. Yo, this is awesome. What is he going to do? Like, are you going to go in for a Night Witch? Are you going to go in for another card that we can zap? Oh my gosh, this guy is one wild child. He's continuing to spam me. I'm going to hog right on the other side in case he wants to go in. Oh no. That was the one card we didn't want to see today out of everything in Clash Royale. Can we just pretend that that doesn't exist anymore? You literally got Mother Witch out here. You're just living in a different world, bro. Oh my goodness. I'm going to hog rider here so I can apply aggression on both sides. As you guys already know, that's the vibe for me. Every chance I can, that's what we're doing. We're going to do him dirty if we can. All right, the goblin barrel, I don't want to reset it. I don't want to reset it. I think it's going to take tower. I believe in the goblins. The goblins were green and they were mean. And in the end, that victory was pristine. Let's get it. Winning games like that against weird Elixir Golem decks is totally the vibe. Hey, so jumping into this one, lethality. Okay, so I'm a little bit scared. This guy seems like a sinister sir, and I do not want to give him any openings. So I'm going to go for archers in the back. Whenever we see minions, it looks like it's going to be a giant graveyard deck. That's usually what I'm used to playing against. I'm going to go for a miner in the back since we are going to be able to have that archer trespass on his territory before the archer in the other side. So just want to force out some extra elixir here. I'm going to hog right on the other side as well. It looks like he just seems like he's going to ignore everything. Yeah, it's one of those players. It is 110% one of those players. I'm going to guards early on in case he wants to go in for an arrows. Oh my gosh. He's really aggressive. Okay, I need to zap this as quickly as I can. Otherwise, those minions are going to do thousands of damage to my tower. It worked pretty well. I'm surprised that we're currently up in the lead in both sides. I can go in for a miner with my archers, and this is looking up, guys. It's looking like a vibe. If those archers lock onto the tower, what the heck? I don't know why he waited so long for the arrows there. Okay, no, it's Sparky. Sparky plus arrows. Definitely one of the more difficult matchups if your opponent's going to have arrows plus zap or a whole bunch of different small spells. I haven't figured out what he exactly has, but looks like the Hog Rider Goblin Barrel did a ton of damage, so I'm here for it. I'm able to get bats down and then go in for a guard surround on top of the Sparky, so it seems pretty good for me. Doesn't really matter if you zap on the guards, unlike a Goblin Gang, you know. Bruh. Oh my gosh, barely misses the arrows on the archers, and he said oops, he knew. So yeah, this is definitely one of the more difficult matchups if your opponent ends up having multiple small spells. Whether it's zap plus arrows or arrows plus log, you do not want to see people quickly eliminating your archers and your bats because it's going to be able to find a way through on you in more situations than not. I'm going to giant skeleton on the same side as this Sparky, which is something that most people do not do, but if you're able to do that and your giant skeleton goes kaboom, their big push also goes kaboom too. Also, one other thing that I want to note, when I go in for the Goblin Barrel, I drop that before I drop the miner. You guys might not do that, you might do it, but just wanted to highlight that for the future in case you don't know, now you know. Also, Giant Skeleton will be able to pop off on top of any amount of spam that you decide to do. Oh my gosh, never mind. Those are two giants. I don't know if I can stop this, guys. I'm a little bit scared. Mom, pick me up. I'm scared. Oh no. Yep, there's no way I defend that. There's literally no way I defend that. I got to go like Goblin Barrel on the other side, sack the tower, and then try to do some weird tower trade shenanigans. In this type of situation, I'm so scared. I didn't sign up for this, my dudes. Oh no, please tell me this isn't so. He's got arrows and he's gonna end up having mirrors, so that's the huge problem here. I'm gonna go in for archers, so then when the giant skeleton explodes, it's at least able to kill the mini packet. Even if you go in for the arrows, we're vibing. Okay, we're here for it. I'm gonna go for the Goblin Barrel first, and then I'm gonna go in for the Hog Rider, and then he's gonna go in for a giant in the middle. He's gonna make me look like a fool, so I'm here for it, guys. Where's the giant? Where'd that giant at, though? Okay, is the Hog Rider getting a hit? Please, let's go. That one is one of the most wild games of my life. Oh my goodness. The fact that he was actually able to muster out 3 small spells because of the mirror is something that I never want to see again. All right, so jumping into the action here. First things first, guys. I'm going to split archers in the back and give the facade that we're running an Expo cycle deck. Hey, let's go. It worked. We got him to drop a log. He would have never done that if he knew what he was actually playing against here. I'm here for it. I'm going to go for a giant skeleton. It's going to body block for the fire spirit. And then the giant skeleton is going to cross the river and tank for the goblin barrel. This is beautiful. This is what we wanted to see. And if the giant skeleton locks onto the tower, he just loses the game. So first off, I think it's going to stay inside the bomb, like all of his stuff. I think it's going to stay inside the bomb. The Elite Barbarians got destroyed and blown to bits while getting amazing counter push with my Hog Rider, because my opponent doesn't know what my deck is. We're going to be able to apply aggression on both sides. I think, oh no, that was a bad play. If only I was able to go onto the collector there, that would have been 100% a W. He's got 3 musketeers. He's taking so much damage from that one guard though. You know what? If he can't guard the guard, then we're vibing. I think if I defend the first 3 musketeer push, I will win the game. So that's all I'm going to try to do out here, guys. Oh, okay. All right. There's the 3M. He's building it up. So this is kind of like tower defense in the finest form. If you're able to stop the 3 musketeer push when they're up a ton of elixir, that's what you got to do if you want to win Clash Royale games. So I'm going to go in for guards here. I'm going to get bats down so then the musketeer will die. I think the giant skeleton bomb will deal with the rest of the muskies on the other side. And guys, it looks like we just dominated this man. There's no way for him to come back. His elixir advantage is dissipating because he doesn't have that many collectors. And even when he does, I think with the Elite Barbarians out of cycle, I want to go for like a Hog Rider and then go for a Miner here. If I can kill this collector, I 100% secure a win. And that's exactly what's happening here. He dropped the Ice Golem to counter the Miner. And I'm sorry, dude, but that doesn't work. Oh, I've been there. I've done that as a 3 musketeer player, and you never want to be in this situation.
A few moments later.
All right, let's see if we can take another tower, guys. I always strive for greatness, always trying to dominate my opponents while making sure they don't take a single thing. This guy must feel real bad about losing to a Hog Rider, Miner, Giant Skeleton, Goblin Barrel deck. I literally have 4 win conditions. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more daily content, and have an awesome rest of your day.